The modern world runs on oil, a resource so deeply woven into our daily lives that it's easy to overlook its true significance. From the fuel in our cars and planes, to the plastics in our homes, and even the fertilizers that help grow our food, oil is the invisible engine behind much of modern civilization. Every day, millions of barrels are extracted, refined, and shipped across continents, keeping the wheels of industry and commerce turning. Oil doesn't just power vehicles and factories, it powers entire economies, shaping the destinies of nations and influencing the balance of global relations. The price of oil can send shockwaves through stock markets, affect inflation, and even determine the fate of governments. Yet, the world's oil landscape is far from evenly distributed. A handful of countries and their state-owned giants dominate the scene. At the very top sits Saudi Aramco, the crown jewel of Saudi Arabia, boasting nearly 250 billion barrels in proven reserves, an amount that gives it unmatched leverage in the global market. This staggering reserve dwarfs the holdings of private companies like ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell, whose combined reserves are only a fraction of Aramco's. These Western giants, while powerful, simply can't compete with the sheer scale of the state-backed titans. Such concentration of resources gives a select few nations, especially Saudi Arabia, immense influence over global oil supply and prices. Decisions made in Riyadh can ripple across the world, affecting everything from the cost of gasoline to the stability of entire economies. But simply having oil underground isn't enough. The real challenge lies in extracting, refining, and transporting it efficiently. This requires advanced technology, skilled labor, and massive infrastructure, without which even the largest reserves can remain untapped. Take Venezuela, for example. Despite having some of the world's largest reserves, the country struggles to produce oil at scale. Years of political instability, economic mismanagement, and international sanctions have left its oil industry in disarray, with equipment rusting and production plummeting. The global balance of power can shift dramatically with a single major discovery. When new reserves are found, especially in unexpected places, it can redraw the map of energy influence, creating new opportunities and challenges for both producers and consumers. Imagine a new massive oil find in a country previously off the energy radar. Such a discovery could disrupt the established order, bringing newfound wealth and geopolitical clout to its host nation, while forcing traditional powerhouses to adapt. That's why the world's eyes are always glued to the latest headlines, watching for the next big player to emerge. Every new oil discovery is more than just a business story. It's a potential game changer for global politics and economics. And now, attention is turning to Southeast Asia, where the Philippines, a nation of over 7,000 islands, stands on the brink of possibility. With its strategic location and untapped potential, the country is drawing interest from energy giants and investors alike. Could the Philippines be the next to step into the global oil spotlight? As exploration ramps up and anticipation builds, the world waits to see if this archipelago will become the newest, and perhaps most surprising player in the high-stakes game of oil. The Philippines, a vibrant archipelago of more than 7,000 islands and home to over 115 million people, is a nation bustling with life, culture, and ambition. Its cities are alive with energy, its streets filled with the daily hustle of Filipinos striving for a better future. Yet, beneath this dynamism lies a persistent challenge that affects every aspect of daily life: the country's ongoing struggle to secure a stable and affordable energy supply. For decades, the Philippines has depended heavily on imported fuel to power its homes, businesses, and transportation networks. Massive oil tankers and fuel trucks are a common sight, delivering the lifeblood of the nation's economy from distant shores. This reliance on foreign energy makes the country extremely vulnerable to unpredictable global price swings. When international oil prices spike, the effects ripple through the economy, raising the cost of transportation, increasing the price of basic goods, and straining the budgets of ordinary families. Every imported barrel of oil means more money flowing out of the country and less certainty for the future. Domestic resources like the Malampaya gas field have provided some relief, supplying a significant portion of the nation's electricity. However, these reserves are finite, and now, after years of extraction, they are running dangerously low. Without a new, reliable source of energy to replace Malampaya, the Philippines faces the very real threat of an energy crisis. This could mean even higher import bills, more expensive electricity, and greater economic uncertainty for millions. Other local oil and gas fields, such as the Alegria field in Cebu, have been developed in hopes of easing the burden. But these sites are simply too small to make a meaningful impact on the nation's overall energy needs. The Philippines is a world leader in geothermal energy, harnessing the heat from beneath its volcanic soil. While this renewable resource is significant and helps reduce dependence on imports, it cannot fully meet the demands of the country's growing industries and transportation sector. The search for a large-scale domestic fossil fuel source has become both urgent and elusive. Teams of geologists and engineers have scoured the archipelago, drilling and surveying in hopes of a breakthrough. But so far, major discoveries have remained out of reach. For most Filipinos, the benefits of existing energy reserves have not been felt. Widespread poverty persists, and many communities still lack reliable access to affordable electricity, making daily life a constant struggle. The dream has always been the same: to discover a domestic energy source big enough to break the cycle of dependency, lower costs, and fuel real, inclusive growth for all Filipinos. Such a discovery could transform the nation's future, bringing hope and opportunity to millions. Yet, until recently, that dream seemed distant, almost impossible to achieve. The search continued, but hope was fading and the nation braced itself for more years of uncertainty and struggle. The Philippines has just announced the discovery of massive oil reserves in the Sulu Sea. Early data suggests billions of barrels of high-quality crude, potentially rivaling established oil nations. Unique geological formations hint that even more oil could be nearby. This find could end decades of dependence on foreign oil, saving billions and powering growth. It's a chance for energy independence and a more secure future. National excitement is high. The government calls it a historic turning point. For the first time, the Philippines could become a major oil producer. The world is watching as the country stands on the brink of transformation. Could this be one of the century's biggest energy stories? Discovering oil is just the beginning, an exciting milestone that sparks hope for economic transformation. But beneath the surface, the journey from discovery to actual production is filled with daunting obstacles that require careful planning, significant resources, and unwavering determination. The real challenge lies in extracting the oil and transporting it safely to global markets. Building the necessary infrastructure, pipelines, ports, and refineries demands not only huge financial investment but also years of coordinated effort and technical expertise. The reserves themselves are hidden deep beneath the unpredictable waters of the Sulu Sea, making access both technically difficult and extremely costly. Mapping and reaching these underwater reserves require cutting-edge technology and highly skilled professionals. Advanced drilling rigs and offshore platforms must be deployed, each representing a massive investment in both equipment and human capital. The Philippines will need to attract world-class expertise to ensure safe and efficient extraction. To make this vision a reality, the country must seek international partners and secure billions in investment. But with opportunity comes risk. Security is a constant concern in these remote waters. Piracy, territorial disputes, and regional instability threaten the safety of offshore operations. Protecting these valuable assets will require robust security measures and close cooperation with neighboring countries. Attracting investors also depends on having clear, transparent political and regulatory frameworks. Investors need confidence that their investments are protected by fair laws and stable governance. Corruption and mismanagement have derailed oil booms in other nations, turning potential prosperity into hardship. Without strong oversight, the Philippines could fall victim to the same fate, squandering its newfound wealth. The so-called oil curse has left many resource-rich countries struggling with poverty, inequality, and environmental damage. Avoiding this trap is crucial for the Philippines' future. Strong visionary leadership will be essential to steer the nation through these challenges, ensuring that oil wealth benefits all Filipinos and not just a privileged few. Environmental protections and fair agreements with local communities are vital. Sustainable development must be prioritized to preserve the country's rich natural heritage and ensure long-term prosperity. If these hurdles aren't overcome, the oil could remain untapped, leaving dreams of progress unfulfilled and resources wasted. The path forward is complex, requiring coordination between government, industry, and local communities. Every decision will shape the nation's future for generations. The stakes are high, but so is the potential. Can the Philippines turn this promise into lasting reality and ensure that its oil wealth becomes a blessing, not a curse? Could the Philippines join the ranks of oil giants like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and the US? These nations have vast experience, infrastructure, and influence. The Philippines is starting from scratch, facing a steep learning curve. Building infrastructure and expertise will take years and billions in investment. But its location in Asia near major energy consumers is a strategic advantage. Proximity to China, Japan, and South Korea could make Philippine oil highly attractive. While it won't rival Saudi Arabia overnight, it could become a key regional supplier. The potential to reshape Asia's energy market is real. The Philippines is poised to carve out its own niche. Oil prices are driven by the ever-shifting balance of supply and demand. When supply exceeds demand, prices fall. When demand outpaces supply, prices rise. Economic booms, slowdowns, and even seasonal changes all impact demand. On the supply side, decisions by major producers can instantly move the market. Technological advances or disruptions like fracking or natural disasters also play a role. This constant push and pull creates volatility. Traders and investors react to every shift, making prices unpredictable. For the Philippines, entering this market means riding these global waves. The price it gets for oil will always be at the mercy of this dance. No single nation can control it. The oil market isn't a level playing field. Powerful players shape the flow. OPEC, led by Saudi Arabia, coordinates production to influence prices. OPEC Plus includes Russia, amplifying their control. The US, as the top producer, impacts supply through thousands of private companies. These heavyweights can quickly shift the market. For the Philippines, joining this world means navigating alliances and rivalries. It must decide whether to align with OPEC Plus or remain independent. Every move will be scrutinized by established powers. The Philippines is stepping onto a geopolitical chessboard. Oil prices are deeply tied to politics and conflict. Wars, sanctions, and instability in oil-rich regions can send prices soaring. The Middle East, with its critical shipping lanes, is a constant source of risk. Even the threat of disruption can trigger price spikes. Recent events, like Russia's invasion of Ukraine, have shown how quickly markets react. For the Philippines, regional security in the Sulu Sea and West Philippine Sea will be crucial. Investors need stability to keep oil flowing. Managing these risks will be key to success. The Philippines' oil discovery could transform the nation and impact the world. Oil revenue could fund infrastructure, education, and lift millions from poverty. Energy independence would end decades of vulnerability, but success depends on transparent, equitable management, avoiding the oil curse. Globally, a new Southeast Asian supplier could diversify and stabilize energy markets. Asian economies would benefit from a closer, more secure source. The journey from discovery to production will be long and challenging. If managed well, the Philippines could become a model for resource-driven growth. The world is watching, hoping this story fuels not just economies, but dreams. The stakes have never been higher.